Mel and I are going to talk about socializing your brand.
I use both Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook.
Instagram.
Facebook.
I use mostly Facebook.
Probably either Twitter or Foursquare.
Facebook. It's real quick and easy. It's on my phone.
Facebook, probably.
Like Facebook? Yeah, that's probably the one that I'm on the most.
I use Facebook most.
I do not use any social networks. I'm the last person on the planet that doesn't use any. No Facebook or tweeting or any of the other ones that I don't know about. Instagram, I don't know any of them. Well, I don't know what a hashtag is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my main way of connecting with people. If I don't already have their number in my phone, that's the only way to get a hold of people now.
I do think it's very good for some age groups and some demographics, not for everybody.
But yeah, it beats the hell out of writing letters. You know what I mean?
I've used social media to reach out, especially when I have a negative customer experience. It's worked for me, like especially even just down here with like Jimmy John's, or I've tweeted people like if I order things online, if things are out of stock and error messaging isn't great, and I usually hear back, which is good.
Apparently people like it, but I do understand, because in my business I use a little bit of it, that it's not being used as much as we thought it would a year ago.
We went out and got a lot of information and just a lot of interactions with people. And like I mentioned earlier, these will be available online after the show. The whole presentation will. So we'll get into these because there's some really great feedback that we got from this. Okay, so I want to talk for a little bit about social CRM. You know, social media is a really great place for individuals to, kind of interact with each other. It's, I can post a happy birthday message to somebody, or we can make plans for drinks, and I can send them an invite to a party that I've got. I can share my vacation photos. It's like, it's perfect for that because that's what we want to do. That's how we want to communicate with each other. But then what happens is brands start coming into this space, and it's all just like, buy, buy, buy. We've got this new product that you just need, or like, our service is going to change your life. And it's not what people want. That's not the way that people are using these channels. And we tend to come in there and we kind of push these messages out to people. And it can work a little bit, I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing forever, with television commercials and ads in magazines. But there are so many opportunities with social media to use it differently and use it more effectively. And that's really what social CRM is about. It's about listening to your customers on social media and actually giving them valuable information and connecting with them on a much more personal and more engaging level. So we're going to start off. I want to just go through a kind of a hypothetical example, but talk about LinkedIn for a second. Now, let's just say that you are in the retirement services sector. So you do some 401ks, and nobody in an operations department is going to come to your LinkedIn page and post, oh, hey, I need a 401k. Can you help me pick somebody that'll work well for me? Or what should I consider when I'm choosing someone to provide 401ks to my employees? Like, they're just not going to do that because, who thinks like that? Like, I'm not going to go seek out a brand and say, help me, please, if I'm trying to pick a brand. But they're having these conversations in their own circles, So there might be a group of HR or operations, leaders who are having these conversations on social media, and they're talking to each other, right? So using social CRM, we can actually listen to these conversations and find keywords. If somebody is having a discussion about 401ks in their own little circle, and we sell like 401ks, like, let's get out there and talk to them. So finding this information, we can actually, maybe we can post our white paper that we wrote on this topic, how to pick a 401k provider, right? That's why we wrote it, is so that people would read it when they're trying to pick a 401k provider. So, it's listening for these conversations and then just reaching out and helping people make these decisions, But then from there, you know, we've got all of these followings on social media. You know, we're working with Twitter, we're working with Facebook, and we're, you know, building an audience, right? We're building fans. So let's talk about when we make a post and what we can do with that and what we can learn from it and how we can make it better. So here we've got a made-up brand, Sale-O-Rama, and they're talking about their winter sale, right? So they're offering some discounts to some of their Facebook fans. So using social CRM, if we have these people, their social media profiles built into our CRM system, we can actually start to identify who's interacting with our posts, right? And not just like Facebook user X and, you know, so-and-so on Twitter, but like actual people with their full CRM profiles built in, so, you know, their contact number, when they opened your latest email, things like that. And we can start to look at who they are on social media as well. So let's start to look at their reach and see who has a bigger audience. You know, this girl on the left, she's got a little bit of a LinkedIn presence, and she's on Facebook, but she's not really out there doing much. But over on the right, you know, this might be somebody with a small blog, right? You know, she's got a pretty big following, you know, on YouTube, and you know, so she's posting all of this information, and she interacted with your latest post, right? So, I mean, we have somebody who's got a little bit of a following, and she may have shared your post, but we've got this girl who, you know, has a huge following. She's got a lot of people listening to her, and she's becoming an advocate for your brand. So it kind of is media relations and blogger relations, but on a micro level. So we're looking at these people that don't have, you know, 60,000 people listening to them, but you know, 5,000 followers on Twitter isn't that bad. So if we can just talk to her a little bit and make her feel a little bit more like we care, then she becomes even a bigger advocate for the brand. Additionally, you know, tying these profiles together with your social media and your traditional CRM, you know, if she has a complaint and she's posting about it on Facebook and she calls your 1-800 number and leaves a message, we don't need to like post back on Facebook and call her back, because it kind of makes us look bad, you know? Like it looks like we don't know who she is because we don't have that connection there. But if we are using social CRM, we can actually make that connection and say, okay, I reached out to her and talked to her complaint, and we already resolved it. So let's not cover every single channel that she complained on. You know, let's just make her feel good, and hopefully that will just get her talking better about our brand. So it's a little bit bigger than the marketing channel. I mean, it is customer relations, but it's really just about that connectivity of data. You know, and really with reaching out to these people, these people with a, you know, maybe a bigger audience, more engagement, using social media that way really then becomes more like word of mouth, where we're actually talking to people. You know, maybe it's not a one-on-one conversation like this with social media. It's a one on, you know, 4,060 or whatever Twitter followers. But it's still that idea of, you know, we give these people a really good experience. It gets them talking, you know, not talking like this, but talking on social media, which can be just as effective. So, you know, social CRM really is just about incorporating social media into your CRM so that you can tie these people to actual profiles, and, you know, kind of just help to build a little bit more awareness about them. So Mel, you want to come up and teach us about social economics?
Thanks, Justin. I'm back. Hi. And I saw Bob's question up here about when does the CRM system become so well promoted that it becomes creepy. Well, the whole point of it is really to be able to answer the questions or the needs of the consumer at the right time. So it's more about being helpful, getting them information they need when they need it so they choose your brand, again combating that 25% brand loyalty stat that we saw earlier. But